Hey guys, it's a short little non-live video I'm doing on Monday afternoon, a little bit after 1. I might go live after this, and maybe continue the discussion. We'll see. I've been talking about the yogic foundation of the yamas and the niyamas, and I believe we are up to the last one today. But we're going to take a short sidetrack because I had a nice conversation with Aldo, Crusade Motivation, and Gus, Gainsborough, and a few other people, Milka as well, on karma and some of the misconceptions about karma that in the Western world, it's commonly thought of as punishment, retribution, justice. You see all the time someone on social media saying, I believe in karma. You'll get yours. It'll come back to you. What goes around comes around, which isn't karma. Karma literally means motion or action, work. In no way does it actually mean retribution or revenge, as we like to think of it. I guess most commonly it's considered the what goes around comes around. But when you think of it being just action, then action's always ongoing. How can anything be punishable for an ongoing thing? I always like to go back to saying what Buddha said about anger, that we are not punished for our anger, that we are punished by our anger. There's instant karma for you right there. We are punished by what we are engaging in that very moment. We suffer hypertension, high blood pressure, just a very destructive emotion. If it's left to run rampant, not expressed in a more open and heartfelt manner. And there you go. You want to escape karma? Be forgiving, be kind, be easy on yourself. What we think of karma is more really, truly so, the samskaras. Samskara is an emotional imprint. I always liken it to, and this only works with some audience as it's an outdated metaphor, but the groove on a record, on the LP, vinyl. If you put the needle, anybody remember needles? Well, you know, they've made a comeback. Stereos, record players have made a comeback. So, yes, everyone knows the needles. You put a needle on the album, you're only going to hear the song that the needle's on. You put a needle on side 1 of Zeppelin 4, you're only going to hear Zeppelin 4. You're not going to hear Zeppelin 1 or 2. That's the samskara. When we repeatedly do something, recreate that emotional groove deep, deep, deep into our psyche. We can even say it goes into every fiber of our being because we do it so often. It's just ingrained. So every time there's that emotional trigger, the physical trigger, social media triggers it, a friend, a loved one, especially family. They know all the triggers. Every time they put that needle on that personal emotional groove that we've worked so hard to establish, the same reaction is going to come about. And then people will say, well, that's karma. Although it isn't. It's the samskaras. So we don't really escape karma because, again, it's action, ongoing. Even when you die, the things that are left over, whatever they might be, molecules, atoms, particles, essence, if you believe such a thing, it's still ongoing. It's still in action, being expressed. And some might say that the samskaras is still in place and they will carry over to the next life. That's the theory of karma and reincarnation. karma, samkara, reincarnation, that we are playing out those same samkaras in a whole nother lifetime. Let's back that up, because we don't need to believe in reincarnation. I honestly don't see any reason to believe in reincarnation other than speculative, which is okay. The same with anything after life. We're all speculating. We don't know. I think it was Suzuki Roshi, the Zen master, on his deathbed, was what he expected to find on the other side, and he was like, I don't know. How would I know? And they said, well, you're a Zen master. And his reply was, yes, but I'm not a dead Zen master. So who knows? Let's talk about rebirth, which is a little more, it has the Buddhist quality to it. They like to talk about rebirth, except more so in the Tibetan tradition, where they'll talk about reincarnation a bit more than Zen or other forms of Zen or other forms of Buddhism, sorry. Rebirth happens all the time. Who we are right now, this very moment, is not the same as who we are right now, this very moment. It's already changed, already different. And yet, the samkaras remain. Within a space of a year, I think it's 98% of all of our atoms will be replaced. And yet, the samkaras remain. Some say we come into this life, come into birth, with these samkaras in place. Obviously, we do have some of them in place for whatever reason, however that happened. Every newborn is different than the next. Every mother will tell you that. However, we accumulate them from day one. It's a little tiny groove, not even noticeable, until it happens again and again and again, and it gets deeper and deeper and deeper. And then they are expressed through our anger, through our happiness. Samkara doesn't necessarily mean bad. It's good stuff too, but it's all conditioning. So, we are reborn every moment with those samkaras, but who says we have to be? Is there a way out of samkaras? Yes. We can think of it as the long way: meditation, breath work, prayer, yoga. Maybe a shorter way: forgiveness. A ritual of forgiveness. Forgiveness happens anyway. It's already happened. Mark Twain's beautiful quote, that forgiveness is the fragrance released from the violet upon the heel that has crushed it. Absolutely beautiful. Instant. As soon as that violet is crushed, the fragrance is released. That's forgiveness. As soon as a transaction, as soon as that transgression happens, it's instantly forgiven because it's done. It's over. It's gone. It's only when we recall it instantly, when we react to it, when we commit to karma, action, reaction, that we are diving deep in those samkaras. Samkaras and karma are intimately connected because they happen so quickly like that. As soon as something happens, we don't have a chance to respond because our samkaras are triggered. Bam, we react. Through breath work and through yoga and through meditation, we become more and more responsive, which eventually allows us to be quieter, easier, more forgiving. If we knew that forgiveness already happened instantly, we wouldn't need any type of ritual for forgiveness. It would just move on. That's awakening. Bam, when you just know it. It's also a moment of grace. And you can't train for grace. You can be prepared for it, you can open for it, and you can do things that, or as Jack Kornfield said when he talks about awakening, awakening is an accident, enlightenment is an accident. Meditation makes you accident prone. Meditation makes you grace prone. Synchronicities, grace, all that magical stuff seems to happen more when you are meditating deeply, when you're doing breath work, when you're doing some type of spiritual practice, for lack of a better expression, So some people say you don't need to do spiritual practices or whatever. Not arguing that. You don't need to, which is fine. I don't need to, but I love doing them. I love meditating. I love practicing yoga. It doesn't have to lead to anything. It just is. So I think that simple awareness that our samskaras are reactionary, emotional grooves deeply ingrained within all of us, ingrained within the soul, ingrained within the psyche, ingrained within whatever it is, our deepest essence. And that just doing that work, it could be psychological work, emotional work, working with a therapist, it could be meditating, it could be doing yoga, it could be all of the above. We start to even out those grooves. Or we have that moment of grace when we realize that everything is forgiven the instant it happens, and it's done. We might still be triggered by those samskaras, but they don't carry that same weight. We laugh about it, we smile about it, and we move on. We forgive ourselves for having those emotional triggers, having those samskaras. That's the mistake people make between karma and samskaras when they say that, you know, you're going to pay for that bad thing that you did. The bad thing you did is the payback. And because you keep doing that over and over and over again, you're digging that samskara, and bad things happen because you're doing bad behavior. You're doing bad things. And I mean bad in a judgmental way. I don't mean to judge. I'm not judging. But I'm saying that what we consider bad in life, stealing, cheating, abusing someone, abusing yourself, we can view that as bad because it's not good for you. It doesn't mean bad as in you are a bad person. It just means you are engaging in behavior that's not in your best self-interest. So you can see how, because of that action, people will say karma is punishment. It isn't. It's just action. You want out of your samskaras? Do a different action. Work on being responsive. Work on being patient. Work on taking your time. Taking a moment to breathe and relax. Breath work really helps because it puts you more and more in that parasympathetic nervous state where you are more responsive, more restful, easier going. It's stress that triggers that sympathetic nervous state, the fight or flight, when we are always ready to react instead of being responsive. Or again, you just realize it's all forgiven. And then you realize again, and you realize again, you realize again, and you put in a brand new samskara through your karma, through action. So, anyway, this isn't a teaching on karma or samskara. It's my own, as I say in almost every video, my own exploration, ongoing. Maybe I'll do a video tomorrow where I will have a similar conversation and refute everything that I just said. Maybe not. There it is for the day, the topic. And I think I'll go live in a few minutes for maybe half an hour, 20 minutes, and see what's up. So, thanks guys. See you later.